Speaking of people who love Marvin the Martian, I don't normally look at this shit anymore, but I did look at the good old fashioned Sex Pest cancellation that happened in comics this week. I won't say who it is because people are just going to play this back at different time periods, and like my description of this situation will be absolutely identical to another one. So it doesn't actually matter who I'm talking about because this shit always happens. It just never stops. But I was checking it out for a couple of days. It like kind of broke on it broke on social media on the weekend. So nobody was writing about it. Like nobody in the press was writing about it. What?
Boom.
Anyway, it was a social media screen caps and shit for like the first 2 days. And then the comics press got to it on Monday. And I must admit I was following it more closely than I've followed anything like this in a while. It messed with me a little bit to hear about, and the guy's also my age, so I'm also like, oh, okay, I'm now the age where it's like you're considered like a totally sweaty creep. So I was kind of checking it out, you know. I was like searching for more news about it, which it never means things are going well in my week. You know, I'm anxious. I'm like, you know, biting my cuticles, and like I'm not getting enough exercise because there's all kinds of like renovation stuff going on in my house right now, and I'm just like I'm anxious. You know, anxiety levels have been high lately because of like a lot of, you know, little stressors building up. But you know, it's a symptom that I'm anxious, and then it also creates more anxiety because I'm like, what's going on with that? Anyway, the day after the news breaks is when nobody, I mean, look, nobody should be hearing about any of this, but if you must know, after the press catches it, stop reading. You've struck gold. If you keep reading after that, the craziness of the things you read, it starts to increase, like starts to jump very quickly. And usually, like that day after the press gets it, is when you get those people who are like, never heard of da-da-da, but it sounds like an asshole. Like, wow, welcome to the party. So glad you made it. Really happy you're here.
I'm just here for the Sex Pest.
Like literally, right? Sex Pest? Oh, well, then I'm interested. Don't know anything about the guy, never will check any of it out. Literally just here because I heard the word Sex Pest. So you get those people. And then another thing you get a lot of is I always knew. They're so sure that they knew. And they've got like some super nebulous reason why they knew. And like I saw one for this guy the other day that was like I always thought it was weird that he didn't follow anyone except his own YouTube channel. He didn't follow anyone, Joe.
He's not using Twitter right?
He's not using Twitter right. I knew he was DMing teenagers. I knew it.
For how long did you know?
Yeah. Why didn't you report this to the authorities? What do you mean? You knew. You didn't tell anyone?
You knew, like you always knew.
You always knew? You just like intrinsically have such excellent detective skills. You could have prevented a lot of suffering if you had told somebody. You just sat there knowing, huh? Well, I'm glad at least you get to be right about this. But like at the end of Seinfeld, they locked all those people up for that.